As far as business goes, speak more about this blurb. It's in the New York Times, and they talk about Mr. Karzai inaugurating a Coca-Cola bottling plant, $25 million plant in a new industrial park on the edge of Kabul. It's the project of Afghan businessman, will provide 600 jobs, first large new factory to open in the country. Will there be more like this, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. There should be Coca-Cola in Afghanistan, but apart from Coca-Cola, there also should be fresh water available in the villages of Afghanistan. Both should go together. We are not against Coca-Cola, we are not against other soft drinks, but the thing is, there has to be an even-handed development in Afghanistan. Of course, giving them the basic facilities and also providing them with modern amenities. Yes, why not?
I can't remember the figure, but electricity is quite low as well. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, sure. You know, we were talking of the basic infrastructure. We were talking of the electricity. We were also talking of the facilities of telephone, of internet. That is still a lot of work has to be done. And that really surprises some analysts because so much money has been given to the Afghan government. It's not a big country, just a country of 25 million people. And, but the only thing is that the administrative structure is not well in place. The priorities are not set in order, and that has to be done, and that's important.
Can smaller business people get loans to open businesses, and where do they go?
Yeah, of course, the Afghan government has encouraged a smaller business to open their industry, but the question is, in present situation, it's not possible. Because in present situation, especially in the southeast provinces of Afghanistan, the major issue remains, of course, security, along with providing of basic facilities to the Afghan people. The rest will come later on.
Reston, Virginia, thanks for waiting. Hi there. Reston. Reston, are you?
Is this Reston, Virginia?
Go ahead, sir.
Hi, how are you doing?
Fine.
Good. Hi. I have some classmates that are from Afghanistan in local colleges and universities, and I was talking with some of them one night and about Islam, and they had mentioned that in the Quran, I guess it's called the Noble Quran or Holy Quran, but they had mentioned that in that book, a whole way of life is, I guess, depicted for the reader as far as how marriage is supposed to work and how economics is supposed to work and banking and such. And I was wondering, you know, and in our discussion, and the rules that govern that are inside this book, your book, have they changed? And he says, no, the Quran has never changed. And that's something that they're very proud of. And I said, okay, great. But if economics and things like that haven't changed throughout time as maybe Western culture has, is that the reason why that their economies are traditionally, you know, worse off than Western countries? And he didn't have an answer, but he got very upset that you know, I guess at my observation. Can your caller speak about the role of the Quran and how it impacts economies and finance and business?
Thank you. Syed Hasnat.
I think more than religion, Afghanis are governed by their tribal customs, which go back to 1,000 years. And that was a dilemma. That's the tragedy of the Taliban also, that they were following their tribal customs, but in the name of Islam. And that is how they gave a wrong impression of Islam to the international community. But I think whatever we see today is more of the tribal traditions, tribal customs, and less of Islam.
Beverly Hills, California, you're up now.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
My question is, to what extent has Iran's influence in Afghanistan increased post 9/11, and what role did they play in helping the United States when the United States went into Afghanistan? And if possible, can you also give me some information on the refugee status? Has there been a lot of expatriation of refugees back from Iran to Afghanistan and the cross-border narcotic trafficking? Thank you.
Thank you. How about the last one first, refugees?
Yeah, I think Iran and United States might disagree on many issues like nuclear and other, but at least they agree on one thing, that Afghanistan has to be stabilized. And Iranian government has a workable relation with the Kabul regime. They do have their interest there. They do have the interest in Hazarajats and other people of Afghanistan. They have centuries-old relations with them. But definitely, Iran would like to see more stabilized Afghanistan.
Here's an email. C-SPAN, please ask Mr. Hasnat about the rebuilding in Afghanistan. You noticed on a news program yesterday in Kabul.
You said there's a dichotomy. There is, on the one side, we are having the modern facilities or modern technologies coming in, and on the other hand, the very basic facilities are not available there. It's good to have malls, but it's also good to have markets in the rural areas where the farmers can sell their goods. So both can go together.
Bakersfield, California. Good morning.
Good morning. I caught this just by accident. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. Go ahead, please.
Terrific. Sayyid Hasnat, I'm the grandniece of Ataullah Shah Bukhari, and I'm married to an American, live in the United States for the last 30 years, so assalamu alaikum to you. I was a debater, and I used to travel when I was a kid or a young person to the borders, Peshawar area. And during the 60s, Afghanistan was a pretty modern city and so on and so forth. But what is amazing to me is that people don't understand the characteristics of the Afghani and the pride of the Afghani person and the individual. And I've met some Afghanis in the United States, and they are so proud to say, we are Pakhtuns, and even little kids have so much pride. And to bomb this nation and then to have a government which is just centralized in Kabul, having no concept of what's going on in the outer portions of Kabul, I don't know if it's serving anyone right now. And I really don't know what could be done, because if you try to modernize the tribal people, they think you're inflicting a foreign culture on them. If you don't try to do that, then the archaic systems of isolating women and so on continues. So I think it's a no-win situation, and the longer the forces stay there, the longer the Karzai government is viewed adversely as the puppets of a foreign regime. Am I correct?
Yeah, nice to hear from you. This is exactly, I believe that bombing the Afghan tribes is not the solution, or even bombing those who are risen in revolt. I think the best way for the Karzai government is to make adjustment within his administrative structures, within his governance, where he can induct these people, he can talk to them, he can convince them to the tribal chiefs, give them a share in the decision-making process. And also, I fully agree with you, also give this impression that he is the real leader of the Afghan people, that he was elected by them, and he's not a puppet, or he's not a proxy for external powers. If there are external powers helping him, it's just to help his country, Afghanistan, in terms of economy, which they cannot do on their own. But definitely these impressions have to be created, because we understand that sometimes perceptions are more dangerous or more harmful than the realities themselves.
President Karzai is coming to the U.S. for another visit soon. Exactly when is he coming, and what will be his message?
I think the message of Karzai would be to help him out in his difficulty, especially in terms of insurgency. And probably he'll be coming where most of the leaders are coming to address the United Nations General Assembly. That's the time, in September and October. But that will be his message. But I think that's not enough. I think Karzai government has to be convinced that they have to involve more people. They have to provide facilities and expand their socio-economic facilities to the people of Afghanistan, I think, and also telling him that he cannot depend for indefinite period of time from the United States or from the NATO troops.
Let's get a call from Red Ash, Virginia now. Hello.
Good morning. Gentlemen, a couple of quick comments and then maybe a question. I live in the Appalachia part of Virginia, so you talk about well water or fresh water instead of Coca-Cola. We have that problem here in America. After 9/11, I went and bought me a Quran. I do not understand Arabic, so I bought an English translation and have read it. gentlemen, the problem that the world needs to realize is that it is a war of cultures. They have a different view because the real radicals, as we call them, are the true believers of what they read in that book. And just like to hear your comment on that. Thank you.